I'm Pete Clark from 21 Whispers. I've been involved in resilience and mindset development for over 20 years. One of the biggest questions and challenges that the clients I work with face is a loss of confidence. Often I'll get asked, Pete, I've lost my confidence. And as a bit of a joke, I pause and I say, okay, where did you lose it? Shall we go and look for it? And they kind of like look at me a bit strangely. And there's a little bit of seriousness to it, as in when people say I've lost my confidence, I wonder how often they're relying on the feeling of confidence versus the doing of confidence. And there's two aspects of it. So if you've lost your confidence, and we know that when we are confident, when we're feeling at the top of our game, when we're feeling really, unstoppable, it's amazing what we can get done. It's amazing what we can achieve. It's amazing how creative, and it's amazing how we can navigate some of the challenges that we're currently facing. So how do you get your self-confidence back? One of the things you can do is to remember a time when you last felt really confident. So remembering a time in the past when you felt your most confident. It could be you overcame something challenging. It could be that you were asked to complete an impossible project and you got it across the line. It could be that it was a family or a sporting or a friend situation where it was a seemingly impossible task and you got it done. And you got lots of reward and encouragement and praise for doing it. It doesn't really matter. And it also doesn't matter how long ago it was. So if you can take a moment to reflect, to wonder, to pause and ponder, when was the last time I felt really, really confident? And allow your mind to drift back to that time. Whatever that time was, sum it up in a phrase, sum it up in 2 or 3 words. That's not a long sentence. It's a word that's 2 or 3 words, because that word will trigger the memory of that occasion. Once you've got that trigger word, put that trigger word or phrase somewhere close by, have it on your phone, have it on a post-it note above your laptop or your computer. And now here's the trick. Here's what it does. Because your brain pretty much can't tell the difference between something that's vividly imagined and something that's real. Now, I'm going to say that again. Your brain pretty much can't tell the difference between something that's vividly imagined and something that's real. Think how often we feel like we're in a dream, how often we feel like something's going to happen when we worry. And that's what our brain's doing. It's imagining situations, and it feels real. So when you say, I've lost my confidence, it feels real, but it's not necessarily real. So one of the ways over this is to think about a time in the past. Remember a time when you felt really confident. Think of the trigger word or phrase. Have that trigger word or phrase around you and surrounding you to remind you of that time. And when you're under pressure, the trick is then to say that phrase, look at that phrase, remember that phrase, because it will take your brain back to that time when you were really confident, and your body will then reorientate itself around that time. I know it sounds a bit weird, it sounds a bit strange, but even if it increases your confidence by 5%, 10%, that will then put you in a better position to handle the task that you're about to do. So thinking of a time in the past when you felt really confident can really elevate your confidence in the moment. The second thing you could do is to act your way into it. We know it's probably easier to act your way into a different way of thinking than it is to think your way into a different way of acting. So if you're not feeling confident, how can you act confident instead? So whether that's a physiological response, shoulders back, head up, if you're doing a presentation, whether it's pretending that you are confident, the physical act of doing confidence can often trick the feeling response to show up. So you're feeling confident. And just because you don't feel confident doesn't mean so you can't act confident. Because in some ways, your brain's tricking you the other way. You're probably acting fine. You're probably doing the confidence thing fine. But some little voice inside your head, I'm sure you've all got that, is tricking you into thinking, I've lost my confidence. So there's the acting of confidence. Just act the way you would act if you felt really confident, despite not feeling really confident. And the third thing I'll leave you with is just to become conscious of that little voice inside your head. I'm sure we've all got it. That little voice, and sometimes it can be our cheerleader and sometimes it can be our challenge, is to notice the language you're using and change the language so it's positive. Be your own cheerleader as opposed to your own critic. Now, there's times that being the critic's fine. It helps us learn, it helps us push on. But often under situations when you've lost your confidence, it's better to have it as a cheerleader. And saying things like, come on, Pete, you've got this. So do it in the second person can actually add more benefit than saying, I've got this. So second person means you're acting more as your cheerleader. Come on, Pete, you've got this. You can handle this. You can do this. You've done this before. Just using that language inside your head can often spark a physiological response. So your body then acts confident. And then because your body is then acting confident, you then start to feel more confident. And round that goes. It becomes a circuitous loop. So acting and thinking and doing all of those confident things is one way you can get your confidence back. I hope that's helped spark a little bit of confidence. If you think we can help further and you'd like to have a chat about other things, check out the website, 21whispers.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn. Pete Clark. Cheers.